everyone, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jalailah Starr. Today the topic is if we can just get through September. This topic came to me last week when I was standing at the big bank of windows that face out onto my backyard, watching another one of those crazy, wild, violent storms that seem to just kind of blow up out of nowhere. And as I was standing there, all of a sudden I got this message. You know how if you're a channel, you know what I'm talking about. It just kind of drops in, and you get the initial words, but then there's all this other stuff that goes with it. It's like a packet of information, sent across the internet, and in it are like videos and thoughts and feelings and messages. Anyway, so I got one of those, and it was that if we can just get through September, we'll get through the worst of what's to come. And the reason for that is that is when Comet Elenin completes its transit in our area of the solar system. Okay, I'm not going to go into that right now. All right, so they said that so that I would know that there was going to be a quicker end to a lot of the catastrophe than we had thought. And the reason being is that we would not be seeing Nibiru itself, the big brown dwarf. Comet Elenin is very small compared to Nibiru. Nibiru is 4 times the size of Earth. We would not be seeing Nibiru before 2012. The reason why is because we have shifted our timeline. Now, years ago, if you go back and listen to some of the workshop recordings that I did, the 2005 templates and a bunch of the others, well, they have said all along that if 70% of the population can make a one-dimensional jump by a certain point, then you will shift your timeline. And, we would keep shifting timelines. The more we do emotional clearing, we could be shifting off of this timeline to that timeline to that timeline. And every time we shift up and further away from a lot of the disasters. So they said we have shifted to the point that we will not have a catastrophic pole shift. We will not have a tremendous amount of catastrophes. I mean, we've had plenty. But we will not have the amount that was prophesied. And therefore, we will be out of the woods for the most part by the end of September. Now, I know that there are people who are saying, well, Elenin's trajectory has been changed to late November. Well, that may be, but what the Nibiruans are saying is that by the end of September, it will no longer cause a problem. It can still be around, but just like it's not going to cause a problem. That's what they're seeing right now, based on the current situation, the consciousness of humanity at this point. So they were rejoicing over there. They thought that was amazingly great. So what does that mean for us? It means that a lot of the ancient prophecies will not occur. There will not be a pole shift. What we will see, though, we will see some more flooding. There are certain timelines that are still playing out from our ancient past. I've talked about them once again in the 2005 templates. You can read about them on my website. You can order the recordings, which are much more detailed, and you can read about them in the Mission Remembered book too. The ancient timelines are playing out. The big one that's up now is, well, there's 2 of them. The big one that's up right now on an Earth changes scale or perspective is the inundation of the Southern California coast and the massive earthquakes along the New Madrid Fault, which runs up and down the center of the United States, which could cause the Great Lakes to dump into the Mississippi and create an inland sea 200 miles wide. That would pretty much turn the United States into 2 large land masses separated by a big inland sea. They're saying that there will still be seismic activity along the New Madrid Fault with the comet passing, but it will be minor compared to what it would have been. So perhaps some of the Great Lakes will dump, but maybe only a small percentage. And maybe what we'll see is you know, a river that extends to 80 miles or 100 miles wide versus 200 miles. Well, 100 miles, 80 miles was done back in 1929. And right now we're looking at, you know, close to that, 80 miles wide. So another 20 miles is not going to destroy us. We can survive that. So that's what they're saying would at this point be the worst case scenario. We can improve on that. We can decrease that 100 miles by, you know, 10 miles, 15 miles every time you and I do more clearing to integrate our, you know, our fears and learn to let go of some of our old angers in a way that we release the other person from blame. Not, you know, forgiveness is about, you know, saying, well, you're still to blame, but I'm going to forgo focusing on that and still love you. Well, releasing through compassion is, I see why you did that for me. I understand that we had a contract. I release you from blame because I had asked you to do that. I've learned the lesson that I wanted to learn from that experience. Thank you very much. I'm grateful that you were willing to put up with all my anger and rage and resentment and bitterness and rejection till I finally got it. Okay. So the more we do that, the more we decrease that. They are saying, and I even hate to have to say this, that Japan probably still won't make it. New Zealand will make it, but it is going to be a much smaller landmass. Certain portions of the southern California coastline will be underwater as well, but not to the extent that they had expected, which would have been most of Southern California. So the timeline involved, the ancient timeline involved, is Sirius B conflict, in which racism played a huge part. And racism can play out on our planet in the form of male-female issues, black-white, Asian, you know, white, Hispanic, anywhere you have cultural differences that are, you know, Jewish, Arab, that are causing major rifts. So the more we choose to put our weapons down and find a way to resolve our differences by releasing the old pain that's causing us to continue, the more we're going to decrease the effects of Elenin. Elenin is coming through basically to get us to make those moves, to do that clearing, because it is such a threat. So in a way, once again, it serves a purpose. So once again, the news is that if we can get through September, that will be the worst of it. After that, we're still going to have some earth changes, but they're going to be minor. So to me, that was a relief and really great news. And I'm very happy about it. Now, they have told me to go ahead and prepare a shelter for myself, which is in my basement. And just not out of fear. It's not about fear. It's about, they're saying you might have tornadoes in your area, because I live right in the middle of Tornado Alley. And you may have some inconvenience. It's not that you're going to get hit by a tornado, but there could be long-term power outages as a result of tornado hits somewhere close by, or, you know, within 30 miles. It could take out a major power station, or, you know, affect the water supplies or affect the gas supplies. So they're saying just prepare. Make certain you have about a week's worth of supplies. Now, that's just for my area. I live in the Kansas City, Missouri area. So if you're not in this area, it may not even apply to you. Tune in and see what you feel. You'll know what you're supposed to do as far as being safe based on the nudgings you get. Look at what comes to you first thing in the morning, because that's where when my nudgings come in the most. So that's it for today. Hopefully you'll find this a very positive message. If so, please pass it on. Tell people we don't have to do doom and gloom, and we can even ensure that more. The power is within us, and it is with us to further minimize these, you know, the earth changes that are still set to come down the pike. All right, that's it for today. Hey, we're going to do an emotional clearing workshop here again. I haven't done one in quite a while, September 23rd through 25th. And we're going to be doing the emotional clearing teleconference July 13th, and the topic will be clearing money blocks. So if you have some money blocks and you want to get some help and not pay for a full session, come and join us. All right, take care. Bye-bye.